我是大嘅海西大特別嘅
經驗有好多好食過，我在外國先。
Chinese dialects are facing a sharp decline in usage. The term Chinese dialects is commonly used to refer to languages like Hokkien, Teochew, Cantonese, Hakka, and Hainanese, the 5 largest dialect groups in Singapore who are the most affected by this issue.
Before the 1960s, Singapore was in a period of great linguistic diversity. Back then, Bazaar Malay along with Hokkien served as the common languages in Singapore's multilingual society, where it was necessary for a Chinese person to communicate in several different dialects in different social settings.
This linguistic diversity gave rise to a whopping 75% of Singapore's resident population speaking Chinese dialects as the household language in 1957. In more recent years, from 2010 to 2020, this number dropped from 14.3% to just 8.7%. Given this current rate of decline, Chinese dialects are imminently facing an extremely rapid demise in usage and may be totally extinguished if nothing is done to save them.
But then, what caused the decline? In Singapore, policies facilitating globalization and westernization targeted dialects, leading to their massive decline today. Singapore's language planning is motivated by economic rationality, with English becoming the premier language for its utility in global science and technology. Then PM Lee Kuan Yew stated that stifling English will thus blind the next generation to the knowledge of the advanced countries.
However, by the late 70s, the dominance of English had become a cause of concern. Former President Wee Kim Wee stated that a new generation of English-educated Singaporeans were now exposed to undesirable alien lifestyles and values. To combat this, the government promoted the learning of the mother tongue through the bilingual school policy, with Mandarin being taught to the Chinese.
The goal was for Singaporeans to be bilingual, proficient in both English and the mother tongue. However, by the late 1970s, the bilingual education policy was not succeeding. At least 25% of the primary 6 population did not attain basic literacy levels, and around 60% of those who sat for the PSLE and O-levels failed in 1975 to 1977. This led to the Speak Mandarin campaign was launched in 1979 to encourage the Chinese to discard dialects and speak Mandarin. It is a year-round campaign utilizing slogans and activities targeted at the Chinese community, with places with frequent dialect usage such as marketplaces targeted in 1983 with the slogan Mandarins in, dialects out. In 1984, the focus shifted to parents, utilizing the slogan Speak Mandarin. Your children's future depends on your effort today. This presented dialects as detrimental to the future of children, persuading parents not to pass dialects down.
Other than aggressive campaigning, the government also implemented suppressive language policies, with one of the most impactful being the banning of dialects in the media and the subbing of all dialect medium media in Mandarin. By 1981, the Singapore Broadcasting Corporation, today's MediaCorp, had done away with programs in every dialect. This destroyed dialect representation in media and a crucial avenue for them to propagate in an influential media industry.
To conclude, the SMC was a campaign to make the policy supporting globalization more effective by transforming society and eradicating dialects. Through its campaigning and language policies, it was able to destroy the environment for dialect use and transmission, leading to the drastic decline we see today. But then, what are the consequences for Singapore should we forever lose the presence of Chinese dialects? Chinese dialects in Singapore are unique from their contact with different languages, creating a large amount of linguistic diversity. For instance, Singaporean Hokkien took influences from English, Malay, and other languages, making it distinctive amongst other varieties like Penang or Taiwanese Hokkien. This is like how Singlish is distinctly emblematic of Singapore's linguistic diversity and history. Let's take a look at 3 different examples. Suma from Malay Semua, Suka from Malay Suka, and Kopi Tiam, a combination of Malay Kopi and Hokkien Tiam. Singlish terms like xiao, kanjiong, kiasu, xia sui, and even la, le, lo, and me are all of dialect origin. The demise of dialects will ultimately destroy Singapore's rich linguistic environment and identity by removing many unique languages from the country.
Dialects are a crucial part of dialect culture, which are the traditions and customs practiced by the different dialect groups. In a survey, about 60% of respondents believe that dialects are needed to preserve Chinese culture and that they hold an important cultural value. Conversely, they also thought that not speaking dialects would make people lose their dialect and Singaporean identity. To them, dialect culture can only be retained through one's own dialect instead of Mandarin or English. Thus, one cannot fully understand and immerse in dialect culture and appreciate the valuable traditions of their elders if they cannot speak dialect, causing people to be unable to appreciate and continue it.
The demise of dialects marginalizes the primarily dialect-speaking elderly by destroying their means of communication and concurrently worsens the linguistic and cultural intergenerational gap between the elderly and younger people who cannot speak dialects. The local play Grandmother Tongue by Thomas Lim highlights this issue through a grandson struggling to understand his Teochew-speaking grandmother, presenting the breakdown in intergenerational communication and the isolation that many dialect speakers face in the decline of dialects. Dialects to the elderly is what Singlish is to us, an important marker of identity and culture. Imagine a world where Singlish has been totally eradicated. What will you feel? This is the reality that the elderly live in right now, but worse, with some even being unable to communicate entirely, isolated from society. Do we want our society to turn out this way? I plead to you Singaporeans to save dialects for the sake of our elderly, culture, and unique identity. Young people, go to your parents and grandparents, ask them to teach you our dialect, and learn it earnestly with pride. Dialect speakers, it is your responsibility to pass down dialects. Only through intergenerational transmission can dialects flourish. Let us work together to create a positive environment for dialects. Only then can we inclusively understand and embrace our unique Singaporean culture and identity. Let's all speak Chinese dialects from today onwards.